All right. Good day, everyone. How are you today? I hope you're good. Welcome again to chess class. It's a class where thinkers are raised and leaders are made. This is where a new generation of leaders who will actually be problem solvers are raised, and this is where they are made. So, welcome again to chess class, the class of thinkers. All right. Okay, we've been looking at our problem solving series, and remember, we are looking at being proactive rather than being reactive in problem solving, being proactive rather than being reactive in problem solving. And I told you that being proactive is the ability to think ahead of time, ability to think ahead of time and give solutions to problems even before the problems come. That is to think ahead. That is what it means to be proactive. And I told you that reactive means you are now thinking to solve the problems in the midst of the problem. And that's what happens in most, time when people are trying to get solutions. They are thinking to get solutions in the midst of problems. But it's far better to think ahead of time to give solutions to problems when the problems are not yet here. All right. In that case, your decisions will be sound because your concentration, your thinking, and your reasoning would be just fine. So your decisions will be accurate. But the likelihood of making wrong decisions because of anxiety and all of that in the midst of problems, is so high. And that is why it's better to be proactive rather than being reactive in problem solving. So we'll be looking at being proactive, rather than being reactive in problem solving. Now, I want to show us, the demonstration, as it were, the Passant rule in chess. The Passant rule is a rule that says a pawn cannot move two steps the way it moves when another pawn is having an advantage over it. That is what the Henderson rule says. Now you remember your pawn can move two steps, but the Henderson rule cancels out that law of moving two steps for the pawn. Why? Because the other piece is having an advantage over it. That is what the Henderson rule says. And I'm going to show you or demonstrate that on the board in a short while you see what it actually means to have an Henderson. Now let's assume I play this guy. Okay, I play this guy this way, and let's say um, it has the knight this way. Okay, and I move my piece this way, and let's say it has the rook this way. Okay, and then I have my queen this way. All right. Okay, and let's say this guy is here. Okay, now this guy moves here. Okay, let's say I move this guy here. Let's say I move this guy. Okay, this way, this way. Okay, let's say I move this guy this way. All right, now let's assume this guy is here. All right, now look at this. Let's assume I move this guy this way. Okay, move this guy this way. Now, Passant rule can actually affect any of these pawns, pawn f7 and pawn d7. Now, let's assume my pawn f7. Okay, my pawn f7. Now, he knows if he moves from f7 to f6, it will be captured. So he decides to move two steps, which is normal for a pawn. A pawn can move two steps, all right? So he moves two steps. But the Henderson rule says you can't do two steps in this case. You can't do two steps in this case. So the en passant rule nullifies the law of moving two steps. Now let's see. So I'm going to capture that pawn just as if it has moved one step. I'm just showing you the en passant rule. All right. It might not happen this way, but I'm just showing you the en passant rule. So this pawn e5 can decide to take this guy this way. That is an en passant. That is an en passant. All right. That's an en passant. Now let's see if we can have an en passant for the black. Let's assume the black has this. Okay, has this. Let's say the queen comes there. The queen is there. All right. Now it moves this way. All right, it moves that way, and then this guy. Look at it. He wants to run away. He knows if he moves from c2 to c3, pawn b4 will capture it. So he decides to move two steps from c2 to c4. Can you see? Now, the law is saying you won't be able to move that way, all right? Then my pawn b4 is going to capture you just like you've moved one step to c3. So he captures you. That is an en passant. That is an en passant. And that is just a rule that cancels out the law of the move of the pawn. All right. Now we're going to be putting all of these skills together, all right, to be able to think ahead of time. And I told you that the reason why we're having all of these skills is to help our usefulness. I told you your skillfulness is what determines your usefulness. So all of these things, we're going to put them together so that in case you see something like this, you know how to use your en passant rule to cancel out the moves of the pawn. All right. So that is an en passant rule. We're going to see you in our next class, all right, where we combine all of these together and you see how the en passant rule actually affects, all right, the moves of the pawn, all right, so that it can move, two steps like it used to. That is en passant rule. Once again, en passant rule is a rule that cancels out the law of the two-step move of a pawn. Why? Because the other pawn is actually having an advantage over it. That is an en passant rule. And of course, the en passant rule, you know, affects just pawns. Just pawns. It doesn't affect any other piece. It affects only pawns. All right. That is an en passant rule. Thank you so much. We're going to see in our next class. Thank you. Thank you.